Lucy, what is it again? Is it the baby? Did the baby kick your liver? Lucy held her chest and whispered, I want to touch a goat. Frank blinked twice. You say waiting? Goat? She nodded. Yes, a real goat. I don't want to eat it all. I just want to touch it. I want to feel its ears. I want to smell it. Frank took a step back. You want to smell goat? Ah, you can't be serious, Lucy. Frank was enjoying the sweetest sleep of his life. He was deep in dreamland, lounging by a beach, sipping fresh coconut water with his Nollywood crush, Genevieve Nnaji, who was fanning him with a fan made of palm front and calling him Sweet Frankie when he heard, Frank, Frank, wake up! He turned and mumbled, Lucy, Biko, let me sleep small. But Lucy was not hearing that. Her voice became louder. Frank, get up now. If I don't eat Akara and agege bread this moment, I will just faint here. Frank sat up with confusion dancing in his eyes. Lucy, what did you say? I said, if I don't eat Akara and agege bread now, me and this baby will just perish. Frank looked at the wall clock. Lucy, it's 1:38 a.m. Who dey fry Akara by this time? Even witches dey rest by now. Lucy's lips began to shake. Tears welled up in her eyes like tap about to burst. So you want me to die? Is that what you are telling me? You want your wife and unborn child to collapse inside this house because of small Akara? Frank jumped from the bed like someone that touched electric wire. No, God forbid bad thing. Akara you shall eat, even if I have to fry it myself. He wore a torn singlet, one mismatched pair of slippers, and dashed out into the night like a madman possessed. The compound was quiet. Lagos had gone to sleep. But Frank was on a mission. He walked from junction to junction, asking Okada men, security guards, and one very confused pepper seller. Oga abeg, you fit show me where I go see Akara this night? Na for emergency, he asked. One aboki scratched his head and said, Akara, for this night? Oga, even me, I never see that kind thing before. If the thing dey hungry you too much, make you go back to sleep, go dream about am and eat am belle full for your dream, yeah? Wallahi, na only which Akara you go see this time, oh. Frank's hope of getting Akara was fading before his eyes. He was even about to cry when he suddenly remembered. Aha! Mama Boniface, that widow that fries Akara on her street in the morning and also in the evenings. I will try my luck there. He ran to her compound, knocked on her window like a man running from armed robbers. After a while, Mama Boniface's voice came from inside. Who won't collect slap for my door by this time? Mama B, I dey beg you in the name of God. My wife dey pregnant. She say if she no chop Akara and agege bread now, she go die. Help me, I go pay you 3 times. After muttering something about young people and their wahala, Mama B came out and said, we are one start to dey fry Akara by now. This one na night now. I never even pick out stones from the beans, talk less to grind them. I cannot help you, my brother, she said. Frank let out a frantic cry. Kai, This pregnancy has turned me into what I don't know. Where else will I see Akara and agege bread this night? Mama Boniface looked at him with pity and said, I know how it dey be. No be your wife fault. You lucky say she never ask you to take her to latrine toilet, make she dey inhale shit. Na so my neighbor own dey do her o. Na inside latrine toilet she dey eat her food. God forbid bad thing, Frank said in horror. This your Akara and agege bread matter? How we wan take do am now? Okay, I remember say I remain some Akara wey I no sell last night. I fit warm am, make she think say na fresh one. Then I go give you agege bread wey you go give am too. Mama Boniface said. Chai, Mama B, you are an angel. God will bless you. You will build a big house from this business. You go buy aeroplane and your children go carry you go abroad, Frank said, happy to have found a solution. By 3:45 a.m., Frank returned home like a war hero, holding hot Akara and bread. Lucy, wake up. I did it. Fresh Akara and soft agege bread straight from the fire. Lucy opened one eye and looked at the nylon bag. Then she turned and rested her head on the pillow. That one. I'm not hungry for that one again. I want bole now. Hot bole with groundnut. Frank froze. You want what? Lucy rubbed her belly and smiled like an angel. Bole, this your child has taste. Akara is too oily, so no greasy food this time of the night. Frank stared at her. Then he turned to the wall and said, Holy Spirit, I know I said for better or worse, but I didn't know worse would come by 3:45 a.m. with request for bole, he said, looking helplessly. Please take the Akara away. I don't want to perceive it, please, or I will vomit here, Lucy said, half asleep. Frank went to dump the Akara and bread on the dining table, but on his second thought, he remembered that all that running around had left him hungry. He went to the fridge, grabbed a bottle of chilled Coke, and sent the Akara and bread on an errand down his stomach. Then came a peaceful Saturday morning. Frank had just settled into the sofa with a bottle of chilled Zobo and TV remote in hand. For the first time in weeks, the house was calm. No midnight cravings, no tears, no Frank, if you love me. Then he heard it. Frank, come quick. His heart skipped. He dropped the Zobo and dashed to the bedroom, only to see Lucy sitting cross-legged on the bed with a strange expression. Lucy, what is it again? Is it the baby? Did the baby kick your liver? Lucy held her chest and whispered, I want to touch a goat. Frank blinked twice. You say waiting? Goat? She nodded. Yes, a real goat. I don't want to eat it all. I just want to touch it. I want to feel its ears. I want to smell it. Frank took a step back. You want to smell goat? You can't be serious, Lucy, he said. Lucy's eyes filled with tears immediately. I knew it. You no longer love me. You used to do anything for me. Now you can't even get me ordinary goat to smell. I did not get myself pregnant, I was in my father's house and you came and married me and asked me to be the mother of your children. Now the children are coming and you cannot give them what they want. It's all right. Let me kukuma die and rest, Lucy said, letting out a loud cry. Frank rushed to her side. No, don't say that. Don't cry. I'll get you a goat, even if it's the one that talks. And just like that, Frank's goat mission began. He went from one compound to another, asking a very ridiculous question. Abeg, una get goats for here? Any goats where I fit borrow for 10 minutes? One man looked at him and said, Are you planning native sacrifice? No, my wife just wants to pet it, Frank replied. The man did not even bother replying him before locking his gate. Just as Frank was about to give up, he remembered Mama Jeff, the woman he buys fresh eggs from, who also rears goats and pigs. He rushed to her house and knocked gently on her door. Mama Jeff, please, I need small favor. I want to borrow your goat. She eyed him suspiciously. Borrow am for waiting. Just 10 minutes. My wife wants to touch it. She said the pikin wey she carry for belle wan touch goat. Abeg help me. Mama Jeff hissed. Na today pregnancy dey craze man. Come borrow this stubborn goat wey I name Onyekachi. But if this goat get small scratch, you go explain tire, no evidence. Minutes later, Frank was dragging Onyekachi the goat through the compound like he had a personal issue with it. Onyekachi, behave now, abeg, don't disgrace me. The goat bleated stubbornly and refused to move until Frank grabbed some long grass and offered it to eat. Finally, he got it to the house. Lucy, come out. See your goat too. Lucy rushed out, gasped, and screamed with joy. Oh my God, it's perfect. Look at the ears, so floppy. She bent down and started rubbing the goat's back like a professional animal therapist. Frank just stood there, hands on his head, watching the love of his life bond with a goat while neighbors peeked through their curtains. Have you touched it enough? Are you okay now? Can I return the goat? Frank said after what seemed like forever. Lucy looked up, glowing like she just received a proposal. Let's name him Chukwebuka. Frank nearly fainted. Chukwebuka? Lucy, this is not our goat. It belongs to Mama Jeff, and I promised to only borrow it for 10 minutes. Lucy sighed. Fine, take it, but promise me you will get me a rabbit tomorrow. Frank looked at the heavens and muttered under his breath. God, is this how Joseph felt when Mary got pregnant? Then came a quiet Tuesday evening. Frank had just come back from work, his tie still dangling from his neck, when he met Lucy sitting on the sofa, eyes wide and excited. Baby, she said, with that dangerous sparkle in her eyes. Frank froze. Oh Lord, what is it this time? Is it rabbit, monkey, or hippopotamus? Lucy shook her head. No animal today, but something more spiritual. Frank sat down slowly. I'm listening. Lucy leaned closer. Frank, I discovered something. Frank's heart started pounding. Please don't say you had a vision. Lucy grinned. I discovered that this baby only kicks when you act like a chicken. Frank blinked. Chicken, as in okuko. Yes. The moment you started sneezing like a chicken last week, the baby started kicking. And yesterday, when you yawned and stretched like that, chicken style, the baby did back flick. Frank, our baby loves pottery movement. Frank rubbed his face. So, you want me to start acting like chicken inside this house? Lucy nodded. Not just inside though, outside too. We need to know if it works in fresh air. If you love me and this baby, you will do it. Ta, Bafu. Babe, this one no follow. If there is something I did to you before that you want to use this pregnancy and punish me for, better say it. Which one is act like a chicken? Frank said angrily. Lucy started wailing like a child whose toy was snatched from. Frank looked up at the ceiling like a man ready to surrender his destiny. Okay, I surrender, he said reluctantly. 2 minutes later, Frank was in their living room, flapping his arms, bouncing like a confused fowl, and letting out the most disturbing sounds. Clack, 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 clack. Lucy clapped with joy. Yes, that's it. He's kicking. Baby is so happy. Frank collapsed on the rug. Oh, I am finished. I didn't read this part in marriage counseling. Then came the real disaster. Lucy suddenly said, "We are done with the inside performance. Now, let's go outside. He wants to hear the echo." Frank screamed, "No way! I draw the line here." Lucy gave him the pregnancy stare, the one that could melt concrete. 10 minutes later, Frank was outside their flat, flapping and clucking beside the water tank, while the gateman and 2 neighbors watched in silence. One neighbor whispered, "Is he okay?" Another replied, "That's marriage for you, my brother. Love is blind and mad." Lucy stood proudly by the gate, arms folded, smiling like a coach who just trained the MVP of the Animal Olympics. "Frank, louder now. Flap your wings more. Baby is giggling." Frank stopped, panting like a broken fan. "Lucy, please, I'm begging you. If I do this again, I might start laying eggs." Just then, her phone rang. It was her sister. Lucy answered. "Ngozi, you won't believe it. Frank is outside doing chicken dance for the baby. Wait, let me put you on video." Frank quickly grabbed the phone from her and turned the phone off. Then he turned to the sky and said, "God, if you truly love me, come down and collect your son. I am ready." The following day, around 1:42 p.m., Frank was in the kitchen humming an old flavor song while trying to make noodles for himself. Lucy had eaten yam and egusi soup just 2 hours ago, and he was finally beginning to believe that the day might pass in peace. Then he heard a scream. "Frank, come now. The baby is coming out of my ribs." Frank dropped the pot in a haste. The noodles flung into the air like a stuntman and landed on the wall. He dashed into the bedroom, panicked. "Lucy, what happened? Where is the pain? Talk to me." Lucy held her stomach and looked like she was auditioning for a Nollywood hospital scene. I don't know. He just kicked and my belly shook like generator with low fuel. Frank looked confused. But baby, isn't that normal? You said yesterday that kicking is good. This one is different, oh. This one feels like the child is turning to face the sun. I think he's trying to somersault out of my ribs. Before Frank could say anything else, Lucy stood up and grabbed her hospital bag. Oh yeah, call the doctor. Call ambulance. Call pastor. Call my mother. Frank ran in circles for a bit in confusion before finally grabbing the car keys. At the hospital, Lucy stormed in like a pregnant hurricane. Where is Dr. Maxwell? My baby wants to escape through my chest. The nurses were startled. One of them tried to calm her down. Madam, take a seat. Dr. Maxwell will soon... Lucy screamed. Don't tell me that! If you were pregnant and your baby is using cutlass inside your womb, would you be calm? Frank stood behind her, nodding helplessly at the nurse as if to say, please, just agree with her so she doesn't break things. Dr. Maxwell finally came out. Lucy, calm down. Let me examine you. After 10 minutes inside the room, he came out shaking his head, holding a scan result. Mr. Frank, follow me. Frank braced himself for the worst while praying against emergency surgery. The doctor smiled. Your baby is fine. In fact, he's very active. What she felt is just the baby stretching. You know, pregnancy gymnastics. Frank blinked. Stretching? Yes, maybe he was yawning too, the doctor said, smiling. Frank walked back to Lucy and whispered, Baby, it was just stretching. He was probably relaxing. Lucy blinked like she didn't understand. You mean to say this panic was just baby exercising? Frank nodded. Exactly. Here. Then next time, tell him to stretch without dragging my intestines. The attending nurse chuckled. Madam, na baby o, no be yoga instructor. Frank laughed nervously. Then the nurse brought the hospital bill, which came to a total of 43,000 naira. Frank screamed. Is this for stretching alone, or is gym membership included? Lucy looked at him and said calmly, Just pay it. This is your small contribution to the baby's fitness plan, unlike what I'm feeling in my womb and ribs right now. As they left the hospital, Frank shook his head. God, this child better be a gymnast or an Olympic champion after all this wahala. Another fateful day arrived. It was 5:30 p.m. and Frank had just finished washing his car when Lucy called from the kitchen with what has come to be her familiar tone of doom. Frank, I want banana and groundnut. Frank looked up at the sky like a prophet seeking heavenly explanation. He walked into the kitchen slowly. Banana and groundnut? Okay, I can get that. No wahala. Lucy shook her head. No, not just any banana. I want the short, fat one that is yellow, but not too soft. If it has one black spot on the skin, I will vomit. And the groundnut, it must be hot, freshly fried, the one that still has life inside it. Frank looked confused. How can groundnut have life? It's not alive now. Lucy cut him off. Frank, stop arguing with a pregnant woman. Just go to that market near that roundabout where that woman with one eye sells banana. She has the correct one. Frank sighed, picked his car keys and muted. At this rate, I'll soon open up a shop to prepare myself for all these emergencies. At the market, Frank checked other banana sellers with no success before remembering who his wife had directed him to. He then walked straight to the banana seller. She smiled and said, Fine, Oga, you don't come again. Now your madam send you, Abi? Frank nodded wearily. She says she wants short, fat banana, not too soft, no black spots. You get that one? The woman looked at him like he asked for banana from the Garden of Eden. Oga, na banana I dey sell o, no be customized bag. Choose the one wey God don arrange today, abeg. Frank looked at the bunch and selected one. Then he rushed to the groundnut seller. Madam, abeg, I need hot, fresh groundnut. Ah, you get luck, oh. I just fried this one now, she said. Frank sniffed it suspiciously. But you know hot now. You know they even smell hot. The woman frowned. Oga, na nose you dey take use fried groundnut? You won't buy, abi you no wan buy? Please, package one cup for me, Frank said as he paid, jumped into his car and zoomed home. He entered the house like a hero. Lucy, your order has arrived. Lucy took one look at the banana and groundnut combo and her smile vanished. She picked up the banana and gasped. This one is too yellow. It looks like it has been waiting for burial. I can't eat this. Frank's mouth dropped open. But it's fresh. I saw her peel it. Lucy pointed at the groundnut next. This one is dry. It's not the oily type I imagined. Frank, how can you betray me like this? Frank dropped the nylon on the floor. Lucy, I walked across 3 markets. I argued with 2 women. I sniffed banana like a goat. I nearly fought with one aboki over groundnut. And you say betrayal? Lucy burst into tears. So I would just starve in my condition, eh? What did I do to deserve this kind of husband? Frank ran his hands over his face. Maybe I should just go and sleep in the market or marry a banana tree. Lucy sniffled. I'll only forgive you if you peel it and feed me with love. Frank stared at her, then picked the banana, peeled it slowly like it was an offering, and fed her piece by piece. She smiled. Aha! Now it tastes better. Frank whispered under his breath. Why won't it taste better when it is seasoned with my tears and sweat? Another Saturday morning came. It was 6:12 a.m. The neighborhood was still quiet, and Frank was deep in dreamland, smiling in his sleep, probably dreaming of a world without weird cravings and hormonal threats. Then came the voice. Frank! Frank's eyes opened slowly. No, God, please. Not now. Not today, he said in his mind. Lucy was sitting up in bed, rubbing her belly and breathing heavily like someone about to deliver twin lions. Frank sat up, eyes half closed. Lucy, what is it? What happened? She looked at him with desperation. My baby wants cold 50 cl Orobo Pepsi. Frank blinked. Pepsi. Yes, but not just any Pepsi. Oh. It has to be cold. And the 50cl bottle, the Orobo one, the one that costs like a Coca-Cola auntie. Frank looked at the time. Lucy, it's not even 6:30 yet. Who sells Pepsi this early? She started with her usual sniffling. So the baby will now die of dehydration because no one loves him? Is it my fault that he said he wants to drink Orobo Pepsi? Frank jumped from the bed like a ninja. He knew that tone. The Guilt Trip Express was about to leave the station. He dressed quickly and ran into the street like a madman on a holy assignment. At the first kiosk, the woman was still sweeping. Oga Frank, you come early today. Wetin happen? Madam, I need cold 50cl Orobo Pepsi. Please, na emergency. She opened her fridge. I no get 50cl. Na only the 35cl small bottle where I get. Frank stared at the bottles. His spirit sank. Bring 2 bottles. I will combine them. Shebi they are cold. Very chilled. Nepa give us lights well last night, the woman replied. Frank paid and dashed home with the drinks triumphantly. He entered the bedroom like a hero returning from battle, holding both bottles in the air. Mission complete. Double Pepsi attack. 1 for now, 1 for backup. Lucy looked at the bottles. Then she frowned. Then her lips trembled. Then, like a Nollywood scene, she burst into tears. Frank panicked. Baby, what is it? Lucy pointed at the bottles. This is not 50cl. This is 35cl. Baby said he wants 50cl Orobo Pepsi. The fat one. The coffee one. The original thirst quencher. Frank stared at her. Lucy, it's the same Pepsi, just that it is divided into 2. She cried louder. But the baby wants to hold 1 big bottle. You want to deny my unborn child his heart's desire? Frank dropped to his knees. Lucy, please, it's too early for this madness. I have trekked. I have begged. I have combined sizes. This is not Pepsi again. This is persecution. Lucy sobbed into her wrapper. Just admit that you don't love me anymore. Frank stood up, held the 2 bottles, and drank from one in frustration. Okay, let the baby sue me then, he said as he gulps the Pepsi. Lucy gasped. You drank the baby's Pepsi. You are drinking baby's inheritance. Frank froze, the bottle still halfway in the air. Oh, dear Jesus, just take the wheel, he said, resigning to his fate. Okay, just manage this one. When other shops are open, I will get you a crate of 50cl. I promise, he said. Lucy looked at him and smiled. Give me jaw. Who wants 1 crate? You could not get 1 big bottle, and you are promising me a crate. She then took a sip from the bottle and said, Take it. I don't want Pepsi anymore. Let me lie down and listen to what else baby wants. Frank looked at her, shook his head, and walked out of the room. Then came an unusually quiet morning. Frank had just made breakfast, his best attempt at an omelette, and was ready to enjoy a rare moment of peace. Lucy had been in a good mood for the last couple of days, and Frank was optimistic that the storm of hormones had finally passed. But as always, it was too good to be true. Lucy walked into the kitchen, her eyes narrowed in a way Frank recognized all too well. "Frank, where's my breakfast?" All too well. "Frank, where's my breakfast?" she demanded, her voice already carrying that dangerous edge. Frank, trying to keep things light, flashed a smile. "Right here, babe. I made you an omelette. You are going to love it." Lucy glanced at the plate with the omelette. "Omelette?" she said slowly. "Is this what you think I want to eat, Frank?" Frank froze. He had been up all morning, trying to get the omelette perfect. "What do you mean?" "It's eggs, just like you." Before he could finish, Lucy snapped. "Eggs? You think I want eggs? I need ice cream, Frank. Ice cream. Why didn't you get me ice cream? You know how important this is." Frank was caught off guard. The emotional shift was as quick as lightning. One moment, she was fine, and the next, she was spiraling into a craving frenzy. He quickly tried to recover. Okay, I'll get you the ice cream. Don't worry. I'll get you anything you want." Lucy's face softened for a second. "Good. And make sure it's vanilla, not chocolate. I don't want chocolate. Don't get me chocolate." Frank nodded, trying not to let the panic show on his face. "Vanilla? Got it. I'll go out and get it. Just sit tight, alright?" Lucy crossed her arms and sat down at the table, staring at the omelette like it had personally offended her. Frank quickly rushed out the door, hoping to get the ice cream as fast as humanly possible. He made it to the nearest store, praying it wasn't too late to avoid the hormonal meltdown. But as luck would have it, the store had just run out of vanilla ice cream. "No vanilla left?" Frank stared at the empty freezer, disbelief sinking in. The store clerk nodded apologetically. "Sorry, sir. We only have chocolate and strawberry left." Frank sighed. He knew what he had to do. He bought a tub of chocolate and a tub of strawberry ice cream, hoping for the best. As Frank returned home, he was met with a familiar scene. Lucy pacing around the living room, muttering to herself. "Frank!" she yelled as soon as she saw him walk in, ice cream tubs in hand. "Where is my vanilla? You know I wanted vanilla." Frank's heart sank. "Lucy, I'm sorry. They were out of vanilla, but I got you chocolate and strawberry. Which one would you prefer?" Lucy's eyes narrowed. "Chocolate? Strawberry? You think I want either of those? I told you I want vanilla. Vanilla is the only thing that will make me feel better." Frank stood there, holding the tubs, trying to think of a solution. "Lucy, please, just try one. I promise you will love it." "Okay, you know what? I will even mix them together, chocolate and strawberry, just to make it extra special." Lucy stared at him for a moment, her face softening a bit. Mix them? She asked, her voice dropping. You mean I don't have to settle for just one flavor? Frank nodded enthusiastically. Yes, I'll make you the best ice cream combo ever. You won't even miss vanilla. After a few seconds of silence, Lucy crossed her arms and sighed dramatically. Fine, but it better be the best ice cream in the world, Frank. I don't want to regret it. Frank, relieved, hurried to the kitchen and began mixing the two flavors together, praying that this would calm her down. He scooped a generous portion into a bowl and handed it to her. Lucy took one bite, her face crunching up. Not bad, I guess, but it's still not vanilla. Frank sighed in relief, sitting down beside her. I tried, Lucy. I really did. Just as Frank thought they were back to peaceful waters, Lucy suddenly burst into tears. Frank, she sobbed. I feel so big. I feel like a balloon that's going to explode. I don't know what's happening to me. Why am I always emotional all the time? I hate this. Frank blinked in confusion. This was a new one. Lucy, don't cry. It's just the hormones. It's okay. You are beautiful, no matter what. You are carrying our baby. But Lucy's sobs only grew louder. I don't feel beautiful. I feel like a bloated whale who can't get anything right. You deserve someone who isn't constantly making you run around like a madman. Frank panicked. His usual calming words weren't working. What could he do? What was the right thing to say? Then he remembered. Mama Lucy's advice echoed in his head. Lucy, listen, Frank said, taking her hand. You are carrying our baby. You are doing something amazing. And I'm here with you. Whatever you need, I'll be right there. Even if it means going on a midnight run for vanilla ice cream or, acting like a chicken, I will do it. Lucy stopped crying for a moment and looked at him, sniffling. You do that for me? Of course. I'm your guy through every craving and every hormonal breakdown, Frank said. Lucy sniffled again, but this time a small smile tugged at her lips. Okay, I'm sorry, Frank. I don't mean to drag you into all this drama. You are doing your best, and I appreciate it. I'll always do my best for you, my baby, Frank said, smiling back, relieved that the storm had passed. But for how long will the storm stay calm? What other cravings or tasks would Lucy come up with tomorrow? And what eventually happened when she went into labor? Find out in the final part of the story. After what seemed like a 7-day break from Lucy's pregnancy cravings, then came a calm Wednesday afternoon. Frank was enjoying rare peace. Lucy was napping. The house was quiet, and for the first time in days, he could hear his own thoughts, until a voice sliced through the air like a generator restarting. Frank! Frank flinched. He dropped the remote like it was hot. Yes, babe, he called out, already standing, because pregnancy calls are not suggestions, they are summons. Lucy waddled into the living room, one hand on her back, the other rubbing her round belly. She looked like a goddess of cravings on a mission. Baby, she said sweetly. I want jollof rice. Frank sighed in relief. Ah, that one? It's easy now. I'll order from that Mama Ijebu. No! She cut in, narrowing her eyes. I want your jollof rice, the one you cooked that year during our NYSC. Frank blinked. That one, Ke. The one I mistakenly burnt, but you said it tasted like smoked party rice? Yes, that's the one. Lucy clapped excitedly. But this time, I want it with plenty pepper. The baby wants pepper. It's the baby that is craving it, oh, not me. Frank scratched his head. I hope this baby won't come out liking pepper. Soon, Frank was in the kitchen, tying his apron like a professional chef/prisoner of love. He blended tomatoes, onions, and bell peppers. Just as he was about to pour the mix into the pot, Lucy's voice came from behind him like a ghost. Add more pepper. He turned slowly. How did you enter this kitchen without a sound? I was sent, she said dramatically. The baby said that pepper is not enough. Frank sighed and added more pepper. As he stirred the rice, Lucy peeked into the pot. Still not red enough. Add more pepper again. I want the rice to look like danger. Lucy, this one is not food again, no. It's now pepper and rice. But Lucy's face was already twisted in mock tears. So you want to deny your unborn child pepper, eh? Frank groaned and added one more scoop of dried hot red pepper for destiny. By the time the rice was done, it was glowing red. So red, ambulance could have used it for emergency lighting. Lucy sat at the dining table, licking her lips. This is it. I can feel the baby dancing. She ate the rice like it was ice cream, humming and smiling. This is heavenly. Baby loves it. Frank, wiping his sweaty forehead, took a spoonful for himself. He paused. He blinked. Then he screamed, Jesus! He dropped the spoon and ran straight to the toilet like a man pursued by village masquerades. Lucy, this is not jollof rice. This is pepper sacrifice. Who eats this and survives? I hope my baby is still alive in there, Frank said. From the dining table, Lucy shouted back cheerfully, My baby and I are surviving. Maybe your own intestines are just jealous. Frank's voice echoed from the bedroom. Call my mother. Tell her son didn't survive pregnancy. But Lucy just kept eating, sipping cold water between every 3 bites, smiling like a satisfied lioness. When Frank returned, red-eyed and sweating, Lucy asked, Can we have this again tomorrow? Frank pointed at her belly and muttered, This child owes me serious apology when he's born. I have been through a lot because of him. Then came a beautiful Sunday morning. The sun was shining, the choir had been on fire, and the sermon on patience in trials felt like it was specifically written for Frank. He held Lucy's hand as they stepped out of church. She was glowing in her navy blue maternity gown, her baby bump leading the way like a VIP. Church members smiled and greeted them as they strolled toward the parking lot. Today's service was powerful, Frank said, trying to unlock the car door. But Lucy wasn't beside him anymore. He turned to see that she was gone. "Lucy!" He scanned the area, and there she was, running like a pregnant gazelle toward a corner beside the children's church. Frank's heart skipped. "Is she okay? Did labor start?" He chased after her, dodging ushers and church aunties, until he reached the scene and froze. Lucy was kneeling in front of a little girl, maybe 5 years old, who was sitting on a low bench, eating noodles from her pink food flask. The steam was rising, and the smell of noodles mixed with crayfish and pepper was floating in the air like anointing oil. Frank blinked. What in the name of holy noodles is going on here? Lucy was looking at the child with puppy eyes. "My darling, please, can I just have small? The smell touched my baby. He kicked twice." The little girl looked confused but giggled. Frank rushed forward, whispering in Igbo, "Lucy, get up. This is how people go viral on Instagram for the wrong reason." Lucy ignored him and continued begging. "Please now, just 1 spoon, even 1.5. This is not me begging, it's my baby." At that moment, the little girl's mother walked up to them. Frank panicked. "Madam, I can explain." But the woman only laughed. "No need. I've been pregnant before. I know how it is." She bent down and scooped a generous portion into the spare cover of the flask. "Here, Auntie, enjoy." Lucy clapped like a child who won a raffle. "God bless you, ma. The Lord will honor you." Frank stepped aside, face palming in shame, as Lucy sat on the car burner and ate the noodles with all the joy in her soul. "Lucy, people are watching," he whispered. "Let them watch me enjoy my special noodles," she replied, munching happily. "This noodle is divine." Frank sighed and looked to the heavens. "God, I'm the one that needs patience in trials." Pastor wasn't talking to me in theory. He was speaking from prophecy. Lucy licked the spoon and turned to Frank. "Babe, can we go and buy noodles and cook it like this one? I think this girl's mama added crayfish. The baby likes it very much." Frank nodded slowly. "We will cook it with intercessory prayer." Another day, it was 4:12 a.m. when Frank woke up to a soft nudge. Frank, wake up," Lucy whispered. Frank grunted, eyes still shut. "Baby, it's not yet morning. Let me just complete my dream. I was winning the lottery and..." Lucy's voice sharpened. "Frank, I think my water just broke." Frank sprang up like a frog shocked with electric wire. "Jesus, which kind of water? Water from the ceiling? Or water from... Oh, water from there?" Lucy nodded, panicking. "Yes, I think it's time." Frank, now wide awake and running around like a confused goat, started packing nonsense inside the hospital bag. Noodles, remote control, his Bible, toothpaste, even a hair bonnet. Lucy winced, holding her waist. "Frank, calm down. Just help me dress up." Frank helped her into her maternity gown, fumbling like someone peeling egusi for the first time. But as he grabbed the car keys, Lucy suddenly stood in front of the mirror. "Wait, I need to do my makeup." Frank froze. "Make what?" "Lucy, we are going to the hospital, not Miss Nigeria." "I know, but I want my baby to enter this world beholding his mother's beauty. I need to look decent." Frank blinked. "The baby is knocking on the gate of this world, and you are worried about foundation and lip gloss?" Lucy began drawing her brows, ignoring him. Frank paced. "Lucy, if we reach there late and this baby is born in the car, I will name him Bolt." After 15 minutes of lashes, setting spray, and lipstick the color of blood tonic, Lucy nodded in satisfaction. "Let's go." As they got to the compound gate, Lucy stopped again. "Frank, the gown I'm wearing is not matching my mood. I think I should change." Frank fell to his knees. "Lucy, please, have mercy. Let this baby not drop out of you here. Or are you not having any contractions?" Eventually, after a second gown switch and a dramatic quick prayer, they got in the car. Then the main contractions started. Lucy kept shouting and giving commentary the whole way. Frank, slow down. This is not Fast and Furious now." Then 1 minute later, "Frank, speed up. This pain is not here for long stories." They arrived at the hospital with Lucy screaming, "Nurse, nurse, this baby wants to escape, oh. Somebody help me, oh." While Frank was trying to park and nearly knocked down a security cone. Inside the hospital, chaos reigned. Lucy refused to be examined until she finished praying with the matron. Then, midway into a contraction, she turned to Frank and screamed, "This is all your fault. Your fertilizer was too active. Now see how active this baby is." Frank raised his hands in surrender. "Please, leave my fertilizer out of this. It has suffered too." Lucy grabbed his shirt. "Promise me something." Frank leaned in. "Anything, baby, anything. Promise me that after this child, you will never touch me again for at least 1 year." Frank didn't hesitate. Only 1 year? Please make it 2. In fact, take 10 years. I'll be sleeping in the parlor henceforth. Inside the labor room, the atmosphere was hotter than a pot of ogbono soup on a coal stove. Lucy was groaning, sweating, shouting, praying, crying, sometimes doing all at once. All her makeup at that point was gone. Frank stood at the corner, looking like a prisoner of hormonal war. The nurse handed him a hospital gown and said, "Oga, wear this and stand by her side. She needs support." Frank blinked. "Support? How? Emotional or physical? Because physically, I'm not sure I can survive this." "He'll be fine." The nurse smiled and pushed him closer to the bed. Lucy saw him and pointed with full force. "Frank, don't just stand there like a statue. Rub my back harder, harder." Frank started rubbing. "Not there now. You are rubbing like you are massaging yam. Rub it with love." Frank was already sweating. "Lucy, there's no love in this kind of rubbing again. No. Na survival I dey so." Suddenly, Lucy grabbed his neck. "Frank, listen to me. If I die now, I will come back and drag you to the spirit world. Frank gasped. Please don't go anywhere. Just push. Push and stay with me, my love. Nurse Ada tried to calm things. Madam, breathe slowly. In and out. Don't tell me about breathing. The only breathing I want is the baby breathing outside, Lucy yelled. As the pain intensified, Lucy screamed, This doctor doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, I want another doctor. Bring me a woman, or better yet, bring me my mother. Frank turned to the nurse. Please help her. Administer anything you need to administer on her that is safe. Because at this point, I think I'm the one giving birth emotionally. And then, boom, Lucy screamed so loudly, the entire maternity block paused. She's crowning. One more push, the doctor said. Lucy screamed again. Frank tried to hold her hand, but she gripped his fingers so tight that his life flashed before his eyes, including the jollof rice he left at home uneaten. Frank, Lucy shouted, if this baby comes out and looks like you, I will still blame you. Don't worry, he will look like you, Frank replied, sweating. With one final roar of power, louder than a masquerade festival horn, Lucy pushed. A second later, the room was filled with the sound of a baby's cry. Then Lucy, tears streaming down her face, smiled and whispered, My baby boy is here. She turned her head to talk to Frank, only to see him on the floor. It turned out that he passed out at the sight of the baby coming into the world. My God, baby, are you all right? Doctor, my husband fainted. Please help him, she said tearfully. Don't worry, it happens to some men. The nurses are already resuscitating him, the doctor said. After some minutes, Frank, disheveled and bruised, woke up to behold his wife and his new baby. He collapsed on the chair in relief, muttering, Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Father. We made it. 2 days after the dramatic delivery, the hospital ward was calm. Lucy was lying peacefully on her bed, fresh-faced and glowing like someone that just returned from a 3-week spa retreat. No more cravings, no more shouting, just peace and pure bliss. They were waiting to be certified okay by the doctor and then be discharged. Frank sat beside her, holding their new baby boy, wearing a proud smile as a new father. But he also looked like someone recovering from a one-man marathon through 9 months of thunder and lightning. Nurse Ada entered with a knowing smile. Oga Frank, you survived though. We were even planning to open a support group for men like you. Frank chuckled weakly. I don't need support group, my sister. I need holy oil and 40 days dry fasting to wash away what my eyes have seen. The baby yawned and Lucy smiled. He looks just like you. Frank blinked. Thank God you are not blaming me. They both laughed. Then Lucy, in her sweet post-labor voice, gently said, Frank. Frank turned sharply. Please, don't whisper my name like that. That's how you used to call me before Wahala will start. She giggled. No Wahala this time. I just wanted to ask. Frank tensed. Ask what? Lucy smiled, leaned closer and whispered, "When are we having another baby?" Frank froze. Then he slowly turned to look at her. "Lucy, did the epidural they administered on you during the delivery touch your brain?" She laughed. "I'm serious now. It wasn't that bad. Our baby is so cute. I can't wait to have another one." Frank stood up, placed the baby gently in the cot, and began pacing like a lawyer defending himself in court. "Lucy, let me remind you. You sent me to go and look for cold or rubber Pepsi by 5:47 a.m. You made me cry over Akara and agege bread. You made me act and cluck like a chicken. You had me begging for a live goat for you to smell. Should I continue to remind you of what I went through?" At that point, Lucy was laughing uncontrollably. "Hey, yeah, did I really make you do all that? I'm sorry, darling. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm glad you did it all for love." Frank shook his head. No, Lucy. I almost ran mad." Lucy touched his hand sweetly. "So, no more babies?" Frank smiled calmly. "Oh, there will be more babies, but I don't think they will come directly from you. I would rather explore other options." Lucy blinked. "Eh? What do you mean by that? Please, before you misunderstand me, what I mean is that I will explore surrogacy, robot pregnancy, scientific miracles, anything that doesn't involve me holding waist, rubbing back, or being asked to fly like an eagle." Lucy was now laughing so hard, tears were forming. Frank picked up his phone. "In fact, let me Google how to grow a baby in the backyard. Because if you ever tell me, 'Frank, I'm craving okra and snail from Enugu at midnight again,' I will just faint in advance." Lucy burst into fresh laughter. She reached for him and whispered, "Don't worry, darling. You've earned a lifetime of peace for about 3 weeks until the baby's colic sets in or he starts teething." Frank screamed. "Ewo, so baby has his own drama waiting? No one explained this thing to me. In fact, where is the doctor? I need to book for vasectomy. I suddenly realized that I'm okay being a father of one." "You that love babies. Okay, let's see if you will maintain your stand in a few months from now," she said as she continued laughing. Moral of the story: love is not always about roses and candlelight dinners. Sometimes it is tested during pregnancy. It's about buying Akara and agege bread in the middle of the night, massaging swollen ankles, and surviving cravings that could confuse a native doctor. But in the end, true love is patient, understanding, and sometimes very, very funny. Thank you so much for following the story to the end. What do you think about the story? Is Frank's insistence on not having another baby justified? Do you think he will change his mind someday? Do you know any pregnant woman that had serious cravings and hormonal flashes during her pregnancy? Please share with me in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And please, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Until I come your way again soon, stay happy.